This doesn't look like a PS5. It looks like a GS5. This is the leaked new PS5 Slim that's going to be coming out. And I see why Sony didn't, when they initially announced this, didn't really put this next to the original PS5 for us to get sort of a comparison. Because it is a drastic difference between the two. When you take a look at these leaked photos here, you can see like right from the front, they have a much more shinier kind of band in the middle versus the more, well, like that's the matte finish, I think what this guy did, but it's like, it seems like it's more shiny, more pronounced, and like a little more curved in, just making it probably a bigger fingerprint and scratch magnet than it was before. You can see that the V's, the collars popping out just a little bit more too. And another thing I noticed I really didn't like was like, you see the eject button right at the bottom? That's like a physical and ugly one from what I can see here, but we can keep taking a look around here at the console. We can take a look here on the side. You can see this is the one with the drive, and you can see like how big that drive now sticks out. It could be the angle at which this was shot in, but it is not a good look. And it actually shows more of the glossy sort of finish as well too, which I can just see that getting scratched up pretty easily. I'm not sure what Sony's thinking here with this design. They're usually not like this. And when you compare it, when we're looking at it right now, compare it to this, is obviously the plates are a little more customized on this one, but when you look at it compared to PS5, it looks like a toy. And that hump is just ugly on the disc version versus the digital one here. We can take a look here. Okay, at the top, you can see it is significantly smaller than the original PS5. You can see this is probably the best way to see the size differences here. Between them, but what's interesting is they don't have like the cool like ventilation on the side, which was kind of built in the design. It just kind of seems, I don't know, just kind of flat, just right there. It doesn't have that elegance. It doesn't have that like craft to it. I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't look as good as it should. It doesn't give off like premium so far. What I've looked through all of this. We take a look here also at the backs here. Let's zoom in on this here just a little bit. And this is where they kind of did the change right here. You can see they have the main one thing that they mainly did is that they moved the HDMI port to the top versus the bottom. But that I think kind of makes sense since the PS5 is going to be more horizontally and laid flat down. It kind of makes sense to have that there because you're going to need to buy a stand to be able to stand it up vertically. But I think the reason on the original PS5 why they have it that low is so you don't trip over it very easily. It just makes it a little bit easier also to sort of compact. And if you want to do any cable management, having it down there, I think it'd be a little slimmer. But now if anyone decides to stand this new one, it's going to be kind of awkward because the cable's going to be all the way up here. Interesting choice here. And you can see they kind of labeled each one of the ports. I guess that makes sense to kind of actually put physical labels on them. Well, they made them a little bit brighter, I can tell, versus what they probably had with the original PS5. I have to look at my PS5 to kind of confirm that. But yeah, this is just, this is weirdly just interesting. And like even the horizontal stand is just a couple plastic pieces, doesn't scream quality. And then going back to this old bulky drive that you see right there, if you just get the digital version and then you want to add the drive later, for the digital edition, it's already $50 more. Then it's going to be another $80 on top of that, making it more expensive than just buying the disc version initially. And then if you do want that disc, you're going to have to be online to activate it. Yeah, and that makes me wonder if you got to register it, and I wonder if you have to stay online for it to continue to work, or it checks in from time to time. Can you sell that to another person if you don't want to keep the drive anymore? That to me is I don't know about that. And I mean, I get redesigns, I really do, but Sony is usually a lot better at it than this. This is reminding me of like when they redesigned the Super Slim PS3 and it looked like that was a really ugly console in the way they redesigned it here. And this one seems like we're more focused on pushing units out there, getting as much as we can out there, getting bundles out there, because I think leaked out some Call of Duty bundles, and I believe there's a Spider-Man bundle coming out for this, so they're pushing that sort of whole thing. There's definitely going to be a bunch of customizable plates and things like that to kind of change the look up a little bit, but man, like it's just such a drastic difference in way they kind of treated the PS5, sort of this thing that wants to stand out. They want it to look good, stand out, be this showpiece. It kind of had a nice premium elegance look to it. This is something in the PS5 Slim, or they're not even, I think it's technically not even called Slim, but the smaller PS5 here, where it's just like something you're probably going to want to tuck away and not really be seen. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. But I don't know about this one, Sony.